Welcome in to the Dynasty Deal Show. I'm Ty at Ty Declare 44. I'm joined by Scott at Charles Chill FFB and Shane at Shane Says FF on X. Yes, we are here with the good people of DDFFB Live, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be here at this time for the next little bit. Make sure if you're not here live and you want to be here live, Trades and Chill tier, $3.99 a month American, an extra $2 if you're Canadian. Gets you in the door, you get access to this show, Trinity, and everything else DDFFB has to offer in the YouTube premium streets. Guys, I got one rule on this show, and you've been here, you know the rule. You hear this noise, we got to wrap it up, move on to the next one. We can be a little long-winded, we can get up on some tangents, but you know this time of year, we're looking for some early edges in our dynasty leagues. We the NFL season's not even over yet, but we're roll over 2026, so people are combing over their leagues. Scott's dropping the roster construction series. It's a good time to look over your leagues and look for those little edges. And C-Jax1 is looking for some edges himself. Hi, chaps. First involvement. Love the content. Thank you. 12 team, start 10. Won the ship, have a rounded team. Any fear that Evans remains a buck? If he does, would you consider sending Ibuka for 104? So, Scott, this question is, will Mike Evans hang around? Is that going to take away from what Ibuka can be? Ibuka for 104. What do you think Evans does, and how do you feel on Ibuka for 104?
Well, congrats on the ship. Most important, you're playing with house money, so you can't screw this up too bad, regardless of what side you're on. I do think there is a lot of fear that Mike Evans stays a buck because he's basically said he is a Buccaneer for life, and he's either not playing football or playing on the Buccaneers. You guys know we've been here with Mike Evans like 2 previous times in his career where it's like, man, he's done. I don't know if they're going to bring him back, and he always comes back. And Shane, he was their best receiver last year, so he obviously can still play football at a high level. And I think he's probably like needed for the Buccaneers in terms of what he does that the other guys don't. So absolutely, I think there's a fear that he comes back, but I wouldn't call it a fear. I think it's more of just the short-term projection, or even the medium-term projection, or even the long-term projection for Ibuka is he's probably just not incredibly good. He's probably a good receiver. But we got this new Trinity tool. I don't know if you guys have heard the Trinity tool before.
What's that? What's it called?
The Trinity Tracker.
How do you pronounce that?
Find it at ddfantasyfootball.com, Shane. So check it out. You can go over there and you can update Emeka Ibuka, and you can even filter for whatever you want to filter. I'm actually going on there right now.
Share your screen. Share your screen.
No screen sharing on Dynasty Deal Show. None. Tune into Manic and Chill for incredible screen sharing content.
This is like someone describing a naked picture they got to you and not sharing it with you. Like, bro,
well, here's the thing.
Or boobs, or
I'll just share the numbers and people can pull it up for themselves. Emeka Ibuka, high-end range of outcomes based on his rookie year, 15.3 points per game. Now, you can creatively filter the first 3 or 4 weeks, and it looks like he's the greatest player of all time. But that's probably not the case, and he's probably not as bad as he finished the year, even with Mike Evans. So the takeaway is Emeka Ibuka is probably just a good receiver. In the right situation where there is nobody else, maybe he could give you an elite season or 2. But I'm probably betting that he is what he is, which we come full circle, and then I'll kick it to Shane. I'm fine actually trading Emeka Ibuka for 103, 104, 105, because you're probably getting a very similar receiver to him that maybe I can get a second on top. But I'm not scared at all of trading him for one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in this class because I think they're probably pretty duplicative, even though we don't know where those receivers are going to go.
The green Irish shirt, duplicative, being busted out 4 minutes into the show. Love to see it, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect.
That's a good place to start, Shane. And I don't know what other words you have cooked up for us tonight, but how do you feel on Mike Evans remaining a buck, Ibuka for 104?
Ibuka, weeks 1 through 4, he had a Trinity score of 7.08. Excuse me. And I could be wrong, but I think the Trinity, you can look at Trinity for free on the site if you just sign up. Is that right, Scott?
Team-wise. You have to become a member to filter by players, look at the ranges of outcomes, all that kind of stuff. So you can look at just the teams.
Right. So it's enough to just get it in. You stick a little bit in there, right? And then, then you will see if you want to go all the way. So that's cool. Do that anyway. Ibuka or the 104. Do you think you get more than this for Ibuka though? Like, you don't think you could get a second piece?
I think you could get, I would aim for a 27 second because it doesn't cost me a roster spot. It's a liquid piece that I do not have to decide what to do in this rookie draft. We'll talk about the rookie class a little bit more as we go on to the stream. But yeah, that would be a perfect trade. I don't think you put it this way. You probably don't lose in that trade. You feel like you lose until your receiver is close to Ibuka. But
Right.
I think right now there's just uncomfortability that I don't know what team that player is going to be on. I don't even know what player that's going to be. So people would lean towards the known versus the unknown. But I think you're probably getting a pretty comparable receiver. Top 15, top 10 capital, like probably just as talented. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So I am fine with it. I would try to get a second piece, trying to get back to the old days where I remembered like, hey, always ask for another piece, just because. So maybe I would counter and not even counter. I would just send out Ibuka for the 104 and the 27 second and make it a new trade. And if they decline that, then I'll just immediately accept the 104. I'm fine with the 104 taking it. We saw what it looked like when Ibuka had challengers there, when Mike Evans was there, when Chris Godwin was back, and he was okay. He'll be fine. I don't think it'll be bad, but I don't know that he's going to be elite. And I'm willing to, I don't want to say re-roll because that's not what I feel like you're doing, but I'm willing to take a shot at the 104 because also the one thing that this class is really good at is wide receivers. And at the 104, I'm going to get the wide receiver 2 of the class most likely, which would probably be Tyson Jordan, whichever one he is. Same guy, however you want to say his name. So that's not bad.
Yeah, I really don't mind the 104 reroll for Ibuka. Just knowing what we know about wide receiver, knowing about in this class, it feels like a good class if you're looking just to take shots at wide receiver or just want to stake in that. It's early enough where if you get into 104, that really has some, you could have that big positive momentum swing. I don't think we really see that increase in value for Ibuka until we see it on the field again, and hopefully he can start hot. And just something about the Bucs offense. It sounds like as they added more options, the offense got more muddied, and again, they didn't start the year how they thought they were going to with all the injuries. So I am curious to see what Ibuka does with the whole offseason and to build everything. But I don't know if plus or minus Mike Evans is what pulls that linchpin for me. C-Jax having a team that just won the championship, I'm pretty sure you probably have a decent wide receiver room, which makes a move like this even easier to do. Scott, I'm just curious if your wide receiver room was very thin. I know we talked about like the 0 wide receiver strategy type last week, and it's a 12 by 10. If Ibuka was like your only wide receiver with, I'll call it sex appeal, does that change your tune at all? Or is it still just the process play of something like a 104 works?
I don't think it changes it. I think my receiver room is already at a place where I'm hoping that I outkick my coverage to a degree. I just think there's a lull right now because I can tell you, Ray can tell you, anybody that kind of does mocks can tell you that the receivers that you're going to get at the 103, 104, 105 are going to be equivalent to Ibuka. But until it happens, there's always a little bit of apprehensive. I just don't know. What if they're the next Jalen Reagor? What if they're the next N'Keal Harry? Like, it's possible. There is a level of there's a barrier to getting past the fact that the player you drafted didn't bust. And that's worth something. There's a lot of times where if I told you I would just have a 0 bust, Ibuka's not going to bust. He may bust relative to expectations, but he's not just going to wash out of the league. He's not going all Treylon Burks, N'Keal Harry, you know what I mean? So there is some security in knowing that you have a player that's going to stick, is probably going to be good. He just may not be great. But in the end, if you're playing the probabilities, if I can get a second on top, especially a 27 second, that I know a lot of our leagues at 27 second can buy you a starter because it is this is a start 10. So the second has to probably be used a little more creatively to get a starter, but I still like the process. It doesn't change it for me, Ty.
100%. No, I'm with you. Well, we appreciate you, C-Jax. Hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for your first involvement. Can't wait for the next one. We got Mr. Jordan Jackson. He's late. Well, hey, see me after class. We'll demerit, just, I don't know, chalkboard, Bart Simpson, something. He does have a question though. What's more advantageous to do first, Shane? using a second and thirds with a player to tier up, or just use a second and thirds to go after veteran running backs straight up. So, like, do you find it more advantageous to try to pair your seconds with the player to go up, or just using those seconds and thirds to go buy some veterans? We've talked about this a bit on the show, but I'm curious. Yeah, like, do you prefer to try to just add those seconds to something bigger, or just to straight up buy something with those seconds and thirds?
I don't have one size fits all. Generally, it's like what's out there. I mean, I want to do as cheap as I possibly can. So I don't want to give up the asset of another running back. So I don't want to give up a running back that's worth a second, add a second to it to get it to another running back, because that running back that I'm probably getting, let's say I add a second to Travis Etienne. But what running back is that going to move me up to? It's going to probably move me up to a running back that's pretty much in the same tier. So I just wasted it. So it does feel like you might be better served just can I use the second and the third for running backs. Now, also, I assume, and I'll just say this as a PSA, we're not buying a running back right now, right? Like, not today. I'm assuming this is in season. I probably would just try to use my thirds first. If I can, I'm going to try to be more judicious and hold on to that second a little bit longer, but I would try my thirds first. Or if I have a running back, can I split that running back into two lesser running backs to take more dart throws, or have more dart throws? You don't take dart throws.
You're given darts to then throw. So yeah, that makes sense. Scott, in a league that we're going to talk about a little bit later on the show, the Ballers Orphanage League. One of the first moves I made was I moved my 203 and 303 for Jacoby Myers and David Montgomery. I find myself more geared this time of year, if I have like picks that are this year, to try to use those, in smart ways. Maybe that is going out and buying those veterans that people want to get rid of now that we're out of point scoring season. If it's a future pick, I feel like that conversation changes a bit. Talk a bit about like current pick versus future pick, and just in general here, using seconds and thirds with a player to tier up, or just buying veterans straight up.
I love the point, because I view a 27 second way different than I do even the 203. Because I think that time value of not having to have the pick be matured into a player is worth so much more, especially given the landscape of this class and then the upcoming class in 27. I mean, to answer the question, Mr. Jordan Jackson, this has been the sole focus of what I've been doing in my leagues for the last 2 weeks. Here's one. I traded the 212 and the 306 for Rashad White. I traded the 312 for Joe Mixon. Shane, you and I traded in the Mannequin Chill League. I gave you the 302 and the 311 for Tyrone Tracy. And I've made 3 or 4 other deals like that where I'm targeting specific running backs. It's not just any running back. Like David Montgomery is another one. There's a list. I put it out in the Discord if you're in there. Doesn't mean that's exhaustive, but I'm fine, especially in these picks where they're just randomly splattered in a league and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. And yes, sure, the sentiment is going to be those picks are worth more in 2 months or 3 months than they are today. But I have enough leagues. I have enough picks in the second and the third where I can kind of just pick my spots. It makes sense for most of these rosters where I'm buying the running backs. And so, yeah, I mean, I think these picks, they're rough. If you're part of the Discord, we did the stages mock earlier today. It's ugly. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be good players in this class. I think this class is going to be very format dependent too. There are some good quarterbacks in this class, not first rounders, but there's some interesting names that are going to go later. Probably 5 or 6 QBs I'm interested in drafting as part of any quarterback on a 2 deep strategy. This is actually a great running back class for any RBs on a 53 because no one thinks they're any good. So you have 4th, 5th, 6th round running backs that fall into the 4th round or even out of mocks. And I'm going, wait, you're drafting. Why are we drafting the wide receiver 16 ahead of a running back on a depth chart? That makes no sense. And I think that's just because this class, nobody really knows what to do. Remember what it was like last year at this time, guys? We couldn't fit enough running backs into the mock. Oh, man, 5 are going to go in the top 50. And then there's going to be another 10 that go on day 2 and early day 3. And then I like these other guys, but is it really going to go 20 deep? And then guess what happened? It didn't go 20 deep. No class is going to go legitimately 20 deep at running back with guys that are actually active on game days that are usable in the season. But this year, like we're doing mocks and it's like only 7 running backs got drafted. That's not enough. The NFL needs RB3s. They need guys to make the team that are then an injury away or one lucky break from being Bill. So if I can get rid of those picks, then fine. I know I'm probably going to get even more running backs cheaper this year because of the way people are treating the class. But yeah, go to that list, find the running backs you like. I have no problem. Send them random seconds, random thirds, random fourths, whatever it is. Because I think it's a position this year where a lot of the veterans will get deference. The NFL knows it's a weak running back class too. They're going to go, Devin Singletary probably still has a job. Like that kind of guy. Yeah, I'd give up a 4th for him. Joe Mixon. Everyone thinks he's dead. He either retires because his foot's gone or he starts. Mm-hmm. You can get him for a 312, 2 4ths. I mean, what are we doing? Like, I think those are very smart deals.
Yeah. A single start in your lineup, that's worth it. Okay, at that price. Just Mr. Jordan Jackson, you inspired him, Scott. Obviously, that list in the Discord. In my 12x9 league, I need hammers. So was thinking maybe tier it for players like Lad. So, okay. Yeah. I know your target. That's a pretty wide range, that Lad range. So if that's your aim, yeah, absolutely. And that mock had his wheels turning. He can't have the 2-7, 2-9, 3-9, and a start 9. Yeah, you got to be smart with that, right? Staying pat and picking those players probably isn't the best thing you can do with those picks. So
what are you doing with that, Ty?
What am I doing with that?
I bet you a lot of people in start 9, start 10s have 3rds and 4ths and seconds, and they're going like I have a thought, but what are you doing if you're in that exact situation that he has on the screen? Like how much are you overpaying to get off of those 3 picks for even just one fringe first level asset that maybe you could package with something else and get, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
how hard would you push?
I'll take the cop out, say it would depend on like my roster construction of like where I'm prioritizing those picks. But my mind immediately goes to trying to get that like Kyle Monangai, Blake Corum, like that level, like the running backs we've seen with a role who, we've seen those running backs once they're the only person in that opportunity. It's awesome for just dynasty production. At the 2-7, 2-9, 3-9, the likelihood of me turning that into actual dynasty value, whatever that means in 2026, is probably pretty slim. So I should be looking at these picks as what can I do to help my team? So the best I can do is either flip these for things in the future, like we just talked about, right? If I can somehow turn the 2-7, 2-9 into a 27 second and something, that's beautiful for me. I delayed that decision and I still have some stuff to work with going into the season. If not, can I get into? I'm looking at JB's tiers. Tyler Algier, Blake Corum, Kyle Monangai, like that level. Like I'm not asking for the world. Woody Marks, even something like a Swift. I bet you can find a manager who's a little worried on a running back here or there. So I'm probably blowing that on running back, honestly, and just hoping the production matches what my team can do in a start 9. You said you had a thought though. What are you thinking?
Well, I think that once you get to that point and you've struck out on a lot of your ideas, sometimes even in a start 9, even shallower, the reroll value of a player is actually higher than what you can trade it for. Like we know you're probably not drafting 3 starters with these picks, but don't look at it as I need to hit starter threshold to have these players be successful. Can I draft players that I can kick the can down the road and maybe flip for something later? Can I split it into 2 seconds, which then I could maybe combine to something and get something better? Or go to the commish and be like, listen, man, I'll give you the 207 and maybe the 209. Can you just add a starter? I'll give you all 3 picks if you add 2 starters, Shane. Make it a start 11. It defeats my problem.
Just go ahead and make some backdoor deals just to shape the league into your.
The league kicks off week 1 next year, and it's start 11. No one knew. The commission's been in and added 2 starters.
He says, I have all these picks, wasn't able to use them to buy because only quarterbacks and wide receivers got hurt and the league is shallow. So 20-man rosters, picks outside the first round are worthless. Yeah, so even a shallow bench, that just cranks that up a little bit more.
At this point, can I even move them for 28 picks? Not the number 28, but the year 28.
It's a real year, Shane?
Someday, you know what I mean? Someday it might be. So, yeah, can I move them for 28 picks? I hate to be all pessimistic, but you're probably going to end up making some of these picks because you don't have a choice. And then you're going to end up cutting a bunch of dudes that you don't want to cut, but that's life. What you can do is I don't know when your cut downs are, but if you pick someone in the 3rd round and they hit, or they even hit a little bit, or they get any kind of smoke behind them, move them immediately. You might just have to be more prepared to act on these players more so than you would under normal circumstances, where you can kind of just take your time and see if their value will increase even more. As soon as someone's value increases that you have to draft from the 3rd or 4th round, just move them immediately. Again, and even if it's for a 28 pick, that's fine.
Yeah. And I'll just add this. I know we're going on this topic, but I think this will help people. Learn from it. Next time you're worried about giving a little extra, who cares? There's a lot of inefficiency in shallow leagues like this. Most of the time, there's two. What would you say about a league like this, Shane? This league should not have 4 rounds of rookie picks, right?
No,
20-man rosters. It should be like 1 round or 2 rounds, but it's
2
inefficient.
At the most.
Learn from it. Understand that you're already at an inefficient spot where you're probably not going to get bailed out on all the extra stuff that you have. And if you're a good manager in a shallow league, I bet you every one of the players on your 20-man roster are guys you don't want to cut either. So next time there's a deal where you have to give up a 7 for 1, embrace the fact that at least half of what you're giving up is replaceable by somebody else's inefficiency that's going to happen down the road, and you'll have the roster space to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I'll leave it at this. Our guy T. Sanford says preference is worth a second. I'm happily sending 2-7, 2-9, 3-9. If that means I can just flip a guy, same tier, and I get the one I want, right? Just, know your league, Mr. Jordan Jackson. But you clearly have a good handle on that old team there. So good luck, my friend. Got to throw this team into the roster review because it's gold. The shallow reason. Yep. Hey, Scott and Shane, get that man a roster review.
Hit us up. Roster reviews are never stopping. It's a great time to get a roster review because, well, there's not a lot else to do, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's why people are here too, Shane. Not a lot to do except send some trades. Hope for the best. Sean W., 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR tight end premium of 0.5, and it's a lineup league. Got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Sam Darnold. Got Achan, Hendo, Hall, and Scattaboo. JSN, Lamb, London, Nico, Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr., Bowers, Fannin, and Strange. 2-5, 2-8, 2-9, and 11. Puka is on the block. Nico, Fannin, and 2-5 for Puka.
Yes.
Yes, Shane, you're the Puka guy.
12 by 10. There's okay, so 2.0 for second, 7 math. Yeah, Puka.
Carry the one.
Yeah, it's Puka. It's definitely Puka.
Yeah. Is it like the 0.5 tight end premium is not enough to put that much oomph behind Fannin, and just Nico to Puka? You're going to feel better with Puka every week, and 2-5, who cares?
Scott's been talking about, or at least he talked about it once, but I listened to it a couple times, talking about like the wide receivers. We're going back to the days where there's hammers. There's just hammers, right? There's certain players that are hammers. There's not a lot of them. Puka is an absolute sledgehammer. So yeah, I don't love giving up Fannin 1.5. He's probably obviously a little more valuable. But that said, what else am I giving up? Nico, fine. I like Nico a lot. He has no street value. And 205 is 205. So it's not I won't say it's cheap, but I don't know that you would get Puka for cheaper than this, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to a mistake Gabe and I made last season where we traded away Jamar Chase for Rashee Rice and Sam Laporta. Obviously, I think Rice was seen a little bit above Nico, but it's kind of, it stings today. Stung then as well. Nico Fannin 205, that's even probably a better return just with the Fannin of it all. But I think in this format here, man, like I can understand the need to split, but your team you don't need to split at all. You got a team full of hammers here. So it's really what can you do to actually impact your lineup? That's probably it. Scott, looking at this team, Puka, Nico Fannin, and 205. Talk to me.
Yeah, I think it's a smash trade. And that's not just because you're probably not giving enough up for Puka in this format, but there's no defense being played here either. Like, I look at your team and I'm like, all right, where's the weakness? And the last thing I would do if I was trading with this team would be Okay, I'm not going to say I wouldn't let you upgrade, because I would let you upgrade if my roster also got improved. I can see the point of the other team, but I would also be much more selective, knowing that it's diminishing returns on who you can even trade for to upgrade on your team at all. And I have one of those guys, and I'm willing to trade him to you. So it's at least I get to choose probably both of the assets that I want for Puka. I don't settle for 3 pieces. I don't have to accept Nico, the 205, and Harold Fannin. Now, if I want Harold Fannin, okay, he wouldn't be in my top 5 assets that I would choose. But if I have to give a tight end back and I'm not giving up Bowers, it's probably Fannin. But instead, can I get Achan? Instead, can I get London? Instead, can I get CD Lamb? Like, that's not a crazy ask. CD Lamb and Harold Fannin is a deal where I could look up in a year from now and the team that got CD Lamb got a better asset than Puka. That's not crazy to say it could happen. But that's the type of damage I would have to do to your team. And I'm not really harming your team, but I am having a little bit of a celebration because I did ding your depth, quality depth, a little more so than what I did here. Here, I took on a lot of risk, and I gave you the best player. It just feels like a deal that wouldn't go down if you're playing defense. What do you think about that, Ty? Because the team that he's trading with might need to absolutely split, and they're desperate, and they want Puka gone today before he gets injured in the playoffs. I don't know. It feels like you're settling. It feels like there's not enough game theory and not enough negotiation back and forth here, knowing that I guarantee Sean's like, dude, there's like 3 players in the whole league that could upgrade my team, and 2 of them might be on my biggest contender, rivals.
Yeah.
Puka's the only one. Outside of him, like, we've all been in leagues like this where we have good teams. There's nothing to trade for. You're desperate for this Puka. Yeah. So what do you think? I think you got to play defense better here if I'm the other team.
From Sean's perspective, I love it, right? Like, you are just using stuff to make your starting lineup better, which was a tough thing to do at baseline. So good work there. On the other side, like, if I'm looking at this team, it's probably the super team on Dynasty Dad, unless there's another contender in there somewhere. And if I'm in there in that league, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't want to just pay the piper here, get a fair deal or even maybe a good deal for me, which means that I now have 0 chance of winning the playoffs outside of very, very high variance. I want to play defense. Like you said, if I'm going to make this deal, unfortunately, with where we're at in this league economy, I need to make it hurt. I need to do something that's really going to move me forward and hopefully disrupts a little bit of what you're trying to do, because you are still getting the best asset in the deal. I don't know, like, what makes this better? Nico Fannin, could I get a 27 first? I'll toss in that 211 or 3 or a third or something to get it done. If I can turn that into 27 first, just get a little something extra. Like, maybe on this team, he also doesn't have a future first already. He's already spent it. I don't know, but I would like to at least get something of value I can sink my teeth into. If I'm moving a guy like Puka, getting a future first in the back pocket with the deal is probably a good place to start. All right. Well, hey, Sean, you keep doing what you're doing. Don't change a damn thing. And good luck with that monster. Samuel Keel, 829, league champ in his first season. Let's go.
Wow.
12 team super flex, start 11, PPR, and a 1.5 tight end premium. You got Hurts, Dak, old Jake Brisket, aka Jacoby Brissett, Mac Jones, CMC, Saquon, Kyron, Monty, Kamara, and I'm assuming Rashad White, Puka, Nico, Wandale, Sutton, Christian Watson, Godwin, Kittle, Tonjes, Parkinson, and no 26 picks. Team feels fine as it is to try and run it back, but I don't want to be stagnant. Anything I should be pursuing this offseason? So Shane, 12 by 11, 1.5 tight end premium, league champ, doesn't want to be stagnant. Looking at this team, where would you prioritize a move or two?
Oh, I mean, it's easy to say I'd like to sell Saquon, CMC, Kyron, Nico, but those are probably the things that people don't want to buy. Just looking at the things that people do want to buy. I don't want to trade just to trade, which is Puka, right? So I'm not trading Puka. Hurts, Dak, like these feel like these are all, what's the word I'm looking for? Like destination players. They're not at that level yet, right? They haven't devolved to that level, but they do feel like they're players that are more valuable to your roster as opposed to trying to trade them away for new assets. I mean, how willing are you to take a haircut on CMC and Saquon? Like CMC's coming off a 400 touch season, right? Hopefully it ends on Saturday, scumbag. And we saw what happened to Saquon when he did it, right? Like it didn't go well until the last 4 weeks of the season. What can you get for CMC though? And what are you willing to accept? What rookie picks? Oh, he has no 26 picks. Does he have 27 picks? I'm sorry.
Doesn't say. We'll assume yes, but yeah.
I mean, look, if you just want to move shit, I don't know, man. It's 12 by 11. I hate moving hammers. I don't know, Scott. Like, what's here that really speaks to you? Like, oh, I can sell this for a haul. I can sell this to, I don't want to say rebuild, but like reload, retool to go about this a little different. The most appealing options are Puka and Nico. Do I want to move those? This team is old, so it could go unwell.
I think if it's me, if I had to pick a spot, like first of all, you could run it back, but I have a couple teams like this where it just feels like I need to do something. It could this team, if you don't do anything, is going to be in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
But you won the title. You're playing with some house money. Sometimes you get a little cute. You go, I'm playing with house money. The fantasy karma gods know that I'm playing with house money. In only this league, right? Not all my other shares of those same players that didn't win the title, but this league, it knows that I don't know if I can run the table again. I've seen some decent deals for McCaffrey. That's the guy I'm moving.
Okay.
And you're going to have to stomach the fact that it's not going to be the price that you know he's valued to your roster. So he got you your title. That's the guy I'm probably trying to move. And I don't need to move him for another running back. Like I'm willing to kind of kick this build to I can win with some roster construction. You mentioned the word destination players. Like that's what you have with Wandale, Nico, Cortland Sutton, Christian Watson. I mean, basically my receiver core outside of Puka is all those are the guys I'm going after if I don't want to hold a lot of value at receiver, but I can also get it without having to pay any premium capital at receiver. So I think McCaffrey is the piece. You might be able to get a premium piece back. Maybe not a 27 first, but maybe a 28 first and another player. Or maybe you can get a 27 first, or maybe you can trade for a mid first this year and get another running back. Like I'm trying to send out some deals for him. And just know if he has another 500 touch season, he probably hurts your team by not having him. But that's probably the piece that if I'm tempting fate, I'm willing to move.
I'm looking at Dynasty-Daddy's trade database right now. I got punched in CMC. Some interesting deals and a lot in line with what you're saying there, Scott. Blake Corum in 109 for CMC.
Oh, smash. Okay.
CMC in a 27 first for Malik Neighbors.
No.
Yeah. If you're feeling spicy, you can go CMC in 208 for Christian, or not Christian Kirk, sorry, James Cook. CMC for 105 straight up.
Oh, you know what? So I guess CMC, because people saw him get a lucky touchdown last week, scumbag. He's still coming off a island game where he was really good, right? Because he's scumbag.
I see two identical deals, CMC in a 27 fourth for a 27 first and third.
There you go. I mean, look, if you can get that, then plaster the market, plaster every team in your league with that. Because I would like to move off of CMC as much as I like him. It's hard to keep betting on 28, 29-year-old running backs. And sure, Derrick Henry makes us look silly, but it's not a bet that I want to keep making. And if it comes down to it, I could probably buy CMC back next year if I really wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Got a fourth this year. He has all of his picks in the future. That's a good place to start, especially if you're looking just to, hey, let's roll into the season and see how it goes. But I agree. It's hard for me to set on my hands. Last thing, look at the team. Yeah, I mean, sorry, that's the wrong team. That's why I was like, this doesn't make sense. Looking at the team, yeah, Puka, Nico. If I can find a deal for Nico, sure. I'd like to maybe tear down there a little bit or go cross positional somewhere where really maybe not cross-positional just for picks if I can, but I'm looking here, Scott. I'm just curious. On a team like this, would you entertain a move where you go from like Hurts down to Purdy and get something plus, or moving out of Dak and shifting your roster construction more into any quarterback on a 2 deep and trying to go with volume behind a guy like Hurts? Is there any edge on a team like that there, or does that invite more risk?
I don't think it invites more risk, but one of the reasons I'm comfortable moving off of McCaffrey is, you know who I actually like next year? Saquon. He can't be worse. Doesn't mean he's going to get way better, but I kind of am okay with running it back with Saquon, Kyron, Monty, Kamara, White, and then I assume you're going to backfill with more running back bodies. You can survive that. That's not crushing you. Might not be winning your league, but it's not crushing you. My only drawback, Ty, is if you trade McCaffrey. Now I'm looking at the tight end room and I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be a patchwork together tight end room. Then I'm looking at the receivers and it's like, it's probably a patchwork together receiver room. Then if I tear off Jalen Hurts, then I'm like, okay, what value did I get off of Jalen Hurts? Is it meaningful enough to make the tier down? Because right now, I think with Dak and Hurts, I have a pretty good shot of having 2 top 10 quarterbacks. So that is at least a moderate advantage. Now, it may be an inefficient one given what I can tier off of those guys for potentially, but the rest of my roster isn't built to probably also now go gross at quarterback. So I'd probably hold on to the Dak Hurts combo a little bit tighter here, but that's just because the position I put myself with the other 3 positions. I think when you take more than 2 positions and you're really starting to thin it down and bank on that you can thread the needle, you get in trouble. And we're already threading the needle everywhere except for really quarterback if we trade McCaffrey on this team. So, yeah.
Mr. Jordan Jackson, he's staying put. You forget this is Dynasty. Let time help you make moves. Yeah, we see how fast things change this time of year. A little bit of patience can go a long way. We appreciate you, Sam, and good luck with that one. Mike Conron, the Brian's Orphanage League. Yes, this is 12 by 12. It's best ball. It's super flex, tiered PPR, 0.75 for running backs, 1.25 for wide receivers, 2.0 for tight ends. It's a 0.2 for completion, 0.25 for carry, big play bonuses, first down bonuses, juice to quarterback and running back. You got to start 3 running backs as well. This is a really interesting concept where all of the teams in the league were drafted for us, each having different strengths and weaknesses, meaning we had to make deals with each other to really bring this thing from startup into the season and make some hay with our horses here. So Mike was active. We had a ton of deals, like a ton of deals in this league. The first waiver run was over 50 waiver claims. So this is going to be a really, really fun league. But yeah, Mike, he's made some moves. One, Shane, I'm just going to hit you one by one here. I want a yes or no. JSN and 102 for Lamar and Brees.
No.
Traded 202 and 310 for Tyler Shuck.
Yes, absolutely. Smash. That's as cheap as Shuck you'll ever get. Who needs Lamar Jackson when you got Tyler Shuck? Come on.
Trade 2-6 and 4-2 for Bryce Young.
No, I just traded for Tyler Shuck. I'm good.
And then traded Tet for Chase Brown and Jalen Warren.
I hate that. I hate everything about that. No, you know what? You know what's crazy about that? That's a great deal in season, right? In season trading, having the nuts to put that on the table and go, here's my Tet balls. Give me Chase and Jalen Warren because they're going to help me right now. Yeah, Tet balls. You give me Chase and Jalen Warren because they will help me win a title. But it's the offseason. I need the things with value, and Tet's got the value, and Tet's going to get the hype. And Bryce Young's going to be a really good quarterback, though. I'm not trading for him. I would never. We're going to hear the narrative of why Tet's going to take off. And Tet had a really good rookie year. If you look at his Trinity score, his range of outcomes are really good next year. I'm just assuming. I haven't actually looked. But, based off what he did, I think that's true. Right, Scott? Scott looked it up. He verified yes. So I'll hold on to Tet there. Give me that Shuck deal. I don't feel the need to trade 102 and JSN for Lamar and Brees. I would take JSN straight up over Lamar, 102 by Kabillion over Brees. And I love Brees like he was my own child.
And I just did you remember that's best ball, Shane? Just asking the question.
Yes.
Okay, good. So Scott, I want to get your opinion on some of those deals too, but I'll give you the team as well. So the team is now Lamar, Bryce, Shuck. You see, there's no other quarterbacks there. So he got his quarterbacks finally. Brees, Brown, Warren, Chuba, Najee, Mixon, Neighbors, Nico, AJ Brown, Wandale, DJ Moore, Pittman, Pearsall, Ferg, Anderson, Andrews, no 26 picks, but all futures and extra thirds. If I remember correctly, Mike got the wide receiver strength team in the 12x12 best ball league. So again, traded JSN 102 for Lamar and Brees, traded 202 and 310 for Shuck, traded 26 and 4G for Bryce, then traded Tet for Chase Brown and Jalen Warren. How do you feel?
I do recall that Mike got the team of all receivers in a format where they are very, I don't want to say undesirable, but not the dominant position in this format. So he was already behind the 8 ball, but I like how he shaped the team out. I definitely agree with the Shuck deal. Best ball, I'd pay a second for a quarterback that's probably going to start the whole year because it's more valuable than even if you have 2 other starters that are better than him or even 3, he's still more valuable to your team. So I like that deal. The thing is, like, this is why I love playing in these types of leagues with Shane, because I would be fine with both deals Mike made. It's not that crazy in this format. Here's the thing about JSN. If I had a slim receiver build, I like JSN a lot because he's set, forget. He's probably going to finish top 5, top 10 easy every year. So I can anchor my room around him. But I know Mike got dealt like a whole roster of receivers, right? And a lot of them are undesirables. I mean, look at the ones that he has on his team right now. I'm guessing this format, you were not getting much for Wandale, DJ Moore, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman. Those are guys in a best ball format where receivers are devalued, immediately fit your construction more than they probably fit the trade market. So he's got to go big or go home. And if Brees hits even moderately, he probably scores equivalent to JSN or close to it in the format. Now, I will say in a class where the 102 is probably a quarterback, Lamar by a kabillion over the 102.
Yes.
And then, honestly, it Chase Brown over Ted McMillan. And you're getting Jalen Warren for free. So, again, the only thing you're trading away with Tet is liquidity. But let me guess, Ty, given the people in this league, are there that many people that are chasing that Tet McMillan given the format? Like, he's fine, but you're not pulling the wool over 6 managers that are following dynasty value because it is all hardcore degenerates that understand the format.
Don't any of you play in leagues with normal human beings, or you just all your leagues
Shane,
are
this
with
is
your
like
weirdos?
You put 11 Scots in the league and then you expect somebody to buy the dynasty value off.
I will say I did miss that. It's a DD association league.
It's in the DD FFB universe.
Oh Christ. Yeah, so Chase Brown and Jalen Warren for Tet's fine. I'm still not doing the Lamar and Brees for JSN. JSN's going to score 23 points a game next year. Brees ain't touching that. 102 over obviously isn't over Lamar, but I'll agree with Scott on the last one. Then he's helped me see the error of my ways.
It is Mike. Any chance he can get himself another Lamar, he's in.
Oh yeah.
So there you go.
There's worse things than to be stuck with the wide receiver heavy team in a start 4 wide receiver best ball league where you can start up to 7 of them a week, right? So there's worse places to be, but that's a hard hand to be dealt in a DDFFB league, a ballers league, I'll say. So good luck, Mike. Let's make a deal after the show. And yeah, that's a good idea. So we got 17 minutes left. We got about 2 questions in the hopper here. So yeah, if you have anything else, there's a good chance we can hit at the end of the show, but let's get on to old Vapad does fantasy. What's up, Vapad? All Gas Trade Show League. Oh, I got a thing for this. Bang. All Gas Trade Show League. Send the 101. Get 1-8 and a 28 first. And Schultz. Ty can give the league context and team context. Yeah. So this is a 14 team start 11 best ball league. Got to start 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 2 flex. It's a tiered PPR. 1 for running backs, 1.25 for wide receivers, and 2.0 for tight ends. Juice to running backs and tight ends. So Vapad's team, he went nuclear off rip, got all of the future picks. Like his entire team was picks, and he did a good job of continuing to pull at that rope and just roll value, split things, get picks. And even before the league rolled over, Vapad was putting deals of this kind of nature where he was trying to split 101 into hopefully a first, a future first, and just a player that makes sense for him. He's going to dinner with the lady to get some Texas Roadhouse. He's breaking into some of those sweet, sweet buns right now. Texas Roadhouse buns, if there's any question. Have a good show. Thanks, you, Vapad. So, Scott, in this, and it's a 25-man roster best ball. So, Vapad's already at the point. He has too many picks for roster spots that he has. So, he has to find the right spots to split to actually put value on the team, but also, he has to start putting some bodies on the roster. So, 101 for 1-8, a 28 first, and Dalton Schultz.
I think it's a good trade. Knowing the context, I'm guessing Dalton Schultz is clearly one of his, I don't want to say better players, but better players. So clearly an asset that he can just hold. Maybe it scores some points. Maybe he can flip it for later. So that's just free money. I do think a lot of people would say the 108 and a 28 first is too light to split for Jeremiah Love, but I'm guessing this is one of those leagues where he owns most of the next two classes. And so the split, it's actually, I remember doing a study on this like 5 years ago, that once you get to like 7 of the 12 firsts, they actually start to become less valuable because you can't do much with them because you've frozen out so many people that people become just disinterested in the picks in general. So I'm guessing the team that was willing to do a deal like this with him was like, the only way I'm doing it is if I'm getting the pick and the split that I want and not the split you want to give me. So this is probably the deal that he had to take. And if he didn't, he ends up with Jeremiah Love. I could have also said, just take Jeremiah Love. And if he is an elite asset, there's probably something else you can do down the road. But I bet you in the context, this was the only offer he was getting that fit the mold of exactly the template that he wanted to achieve. And he had to take it.
It's almost like you're in the league chat there, Scott, because that was one of the main things that came up was like, for what Vapad was trying to do, that's probably the maximum that he could have gotten. He put what my 27 and 28 first and J.K. Dobbins for Jeremiah Love. I didn't hate it. And start through running backs, like I could do it. It just, again, those future flexibility picks. It's just a different math problem, and it's not really how I wanted to play that. But you also nailed the roster there. It's Malik Willis. And then Jalen Milroe, his next best quarterback. He has a bunch of the any on the 2 deep. James Connors is his best running back behind Jonathan Brooks. Jaden Reed and Tyreek Hill is his best wide receivers. And yes, Dalton Schultz, best tight end. He has 105, 16, 18, 19, 110, 113, 21, 31, 35, 39, 39, 313. He has the magic number of 6 2027 firsts. He has his own second and third as well. He has 2 future firsts and 28, and then a couple extra seconds and thirds, 28 as well. So flush on picks. Got to get some players on the roster. Shane, I'm sure you have maybe at least like one team that looks like that. Like, I don't know if it's in a best ball context or not, but any tips on how to, put some gasoline on the fire and get that rebuild rolling?
Oh, we're not just going to just completely let it burn to the studs and just restart next year.
Right.
I mean, go through the roster again with me. I mean, he's got Jeremiah Love.
Malik Willis. Well, no, he traded away 101. So he has Malik Willis, James Conner, Jalen Reed, Dalton Schultz. 6 first this year, 6 first next year.
Okay, so you're not winning this year unless God kills everyone in your league. Like, honestly, there'd have to be a bubonic plague that kills everyone in the league that you're with, and they can't have any children that are old enough to just put in the lineups for them. That's the only way.
And you'd still lose because it's best ball.
Yeah, and you'd still lose. So they don't even need to put in.
So their teams would still set themselves.
There's no way
you would lose to deceased league mates.
The only way you win is if there is a nuclear strike that knocks out this sleeper servers, but somehow yours stays up. But all the other teams somehow, even though it's best ball, don't get submitted. I don't know how that would work. I'm not a scientist. I just think that's what you would need to happen. And it would take a lot less.
There's a chance.
It would take a lot less than that for sleeper servers to go down. Who are we kidding? Stiff breeze. Oh, it's frozen again. All that said, you're not winning this year, so just embrace the suck. we talk about it. Just keep grinding the waivers and moving those for picks. Keep grinding the waivers and moving those for picks. You got Schultz back. Can I move Schultz? That 108, as soon as it hits, can I move it for another first and a player later? A first and a second as soon as that player hits.
Those 29s will be available real soon.
29's coming. Look, I don't want to go past 27. That's just wild. 27, though, as good as 27 is going to be, apparently you could just draft the winning team right out of the 27 class. It's going to be the Monstars just in that draft.
Absolutely. All right, we got a ton more deals flooded in the chat, so we're going to pick the speed up here. Cam Frost 93, Shane, lock in. This is early in the offseason. What is your strategy for picking up older running backs for picks? We kind of talked about this a bit already. You hear a lot, this isn't the best time to trade for running backs, but it's also probably the easiest time to get them. So what kind of deals are you sending out for those type of running backs? Henry, Javonte, ETN, etc.
Second. Here's a second. You want another second? Here's another second. But I mean, I like what Scott did earlier, right? He traded me 2/3 for Tyrone Tracy. It's a lot less dangerous to bet on, a running back that's not playing anymore. And the cost is a lot less, just because the third's just the next round. It's infinitely less valuable than a second. It's not even comparable. What does this do?
Yes.
But if I could get Javonte or ETN seems like a guy you can get for 112. If you can do that, 110, I'm all in. Henry, you might want to just wait a couple more weeks. The further we get from this point scoring season, the less valuable any of these running backs are going to be. There's that perfect inflection point where old running backs don't matter anymore. And it's not quite there yet because they're still warm in our minds.
Agreed. Yeah. If I have a second, get it off my team, get me in a running back on the teams that it makes sense to do so. I agree. Thank you, Cam Frost. We appreciate you. Jake Pierceful, 2-2-4-6. 12-team super flex, start 10 PPR. You got to start 2 tight ends. Team is Caleb Mahomes, 9. We got 9 in there. Fields, we got Hampton, Scat, Rico, JK, Tank, and Cans. London, Mike Will, Mike E, Travis H, Coker, X, Shakir, Bowers, Kelsey, Henry, 3:26 seconds, 2:27 first, 3:27 thirds. The deal is next. London, 27 first, and Mike Wilson for Chase and Downs. Scott, so 12 by 10. London, a 27 first, and Mike Wilson for Chase and Downs.
Well, first, I give Jake credit for getting all of that into 2 questions and just some killer abbreviations. Mike W, Mike E, and we got the Coker X Shakir. I love putting those 3 together. So pretty cool. I think the first reference that's JJ McCarthy with that 9 type.
Yep. Oh yeah.
First time I've seen just a 9
Just
reference.
a 9.
I don't think Shane. I don't
9.
think he's done enough to earn being referred to as just 9 on our streams.
He has apparently.
So it's a start 9. It's a fair deal. I'm looking at this receiver room and I don't hate it. It's probably the price you have to pay to get a tier up in a start 9. I'd prefer Michael Wilson to John. The other side of this trade is I think Drake London is good enough to stave off 85% of Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe he feels Michael Wilson's a little risky, but I could also see where having Michael Wilson, even in a 2-week window where people want him again, plus a 27 first, could maybe get you, I don't want to say maybe another Drake London, but something close. And if you told me I could split Jamar Chase for, Drake London and, I don't know, Amari and Hampton level player, maybe a little lower than that, but like a 2-for-1 kind of gets me back to what I would do if I was moving Jamar Chase. So I don't hate the trade. He doesn't have an extra first. Fine. It's fine. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, but if you told me I'm waiting because the assets I'm giving up, then I know I can do something else with. I'm fine doing that too.
Yeah. I like Mike Wilson a lot, but is the difference between London and Chase that much? Because, if you get a 27 first for Downs, that's pretty much what you're looking at.
Can I do Travis Hunter instead?
Oh, no, you can't because he's.
Did you hear the
it an
comment
IDP
about
league?
the from the Jags front office about how they're entering the offseason and one of the corner is one of their biggest needs. So I'm worried about those Travis Hunters that he's even going to be like an offensive player. I mean, I know that'd be the guy I'd try to work in the deal though if I could do that.
Well,
I'll say this: if there's ever a window to sell Travis Hunter this year, take it because that dude is boxed out. That dude is nothing but a gadget player. He's gonna if it's an IDP league. I don't know. Is he good enough to be a high-end cornerback? If he is, that doesn't help you in IDP. So you are assed out. You got banged from both ends on this one. So
yeah, I'm the guy that pumped the Hunter tires all offseason. It's a little painful. Diaz, I see you out there. That feels like a better question, probably for like Manic and Chill or something in the Discord. So we'll get you in the Discord. Scott, you said you had a fun little thing you wanted to end the show with.
Yeah, and Diaz, I see his question. It's probably just too in depth to get into in the next 3-4 minutes. But I want to just I said I got an exercise that would be fun. So what I did is I actually took, while Ty was opening the show, I just took a screenshot of our stream of our 3 beautiful faces with this overlay and all of that, and I just said, threw it into ChatGPT, and I said, describe this show in as much detail as possible, and tell me about the characters that are on this show. So you want to hear what it said?
Oh yeah.
So here's what it said. So this is a screenshot from a live stream called the Dynasty Deal Show. So obviously it can read the graphic, see that we're called the Dynasty Deal Show. Says the overall vibe is high production Dynasty fantasy football content. Okay. Clearly meant for live discussion of trades and strategy. So we're nailing it so far, right? The lower third name tags identifies each of the hosts. This is a very professional audio setup because apparently they can see 2 mics of the 3 hosts have microphones. So this is not just 3 people with AirPods. Like there's professional mics here. And they couldn't even see Shane's. But anyway, this is where it gets good. This is where ChatGPT.
That's what she said. Sorry.
This is where ChatGPT starts to stray. Okay. I asked to describe each one of the hosts in detail, talk about their personality and their character. Here's what they say about Ty DeClaire. He's in the center. Well, no shit. He's wearing a light colored cap with over the ear headphones and he has a beard. Okay.
Got it.
All true stories.
This Ty must be a professional broadcaster because he has a very nice setup with a professional broadcast mic. Okay. He is positioned as the anchor of the show. He is the primary moderator and keeps the other hosts on track. So without knowing anything, they assumed a lot about Ty's role on the show.
Maybe they just assume more about you two, just looking at your faces, knowing you two will talk.
Right. Now, Shane and I had the most like mundane looks. We were just kind of like staring forward. There was no crazy expressions. But they nailed Ty. They basically nailed Ty's role on the show. The moderator keeps the show on track, etc. Here's where it gets good. You ready? Shane, the guy on the left, Shane says FF. He's wearing glasses, over the ear headphones, blah, blah, blah. He has a neutral background, which means he's very focused and an analyst style presence.
Exactly.
He has the look of a host that uses process and structure. And he is the sound voice of the panel.
I'm the voice of reason, motherfucker.
Then it goes to me. It says eclectic background wall art with the guy on the right, including a tiger. Wow. He is the personality driven host on the show. So it kind of describes Shane and I as probably the opposite of what most would say.
Yeah.
And then we got a little bit more into detail. And it said, where's the Shane one? Okay, where's the highlight on Shane? Sorry. Here we go. Tell me more about the one on the left and the right. Okay. The man on the left, Shane says FF, very analytical, very strong at framing arguments very clearly. He challenges all assumptions very calmly. And he brings great discussion to roster construction and format context. So I'm just sitting here picturing these things describing Shane, and then it's like literally the opposite to mine, where it's basically what's the trade value, and says the guy on the right is great at reading people and working on vibes and sentiment in Dynasty. Just like, it's literally the opposite of how they would describe probably me and Shane.
Yeah.
Just based on our photos. But I got a kick out of it because literally I'm like, it's getting all of these descriptors literally based on one screenshot. It knows nothing else about the show. Because I don't even think we have a lot on like social media other than what's been uploaded to YouTube. But it's just crazy how far deep it can get when you keep asking it to tell us more about the hosts. So I thought that was a fun thing to share.
That is fun. I agree, Diaz. AI is not coming for our jobs anytime soon. Shane, keep wearing your glasses. It really gives you an analytical and eclectic touch. Yeah, this has been fun. Big thanks to CJax1, Sean W, Samuel Keel, Mike Conron, Vapad, Cam Frost, Mr. Jordan Jackson, Jake Piercebull, and Big Diaz for showing up. All of you for watching back. We appreciate it. We are the Dynasty Deal Show. We will be back next week, and we are out of this thing. Peace.
Peace.